standard operational procedures issued by the Ministry of Health. Then we have official vehicles with the Ministry of Works and Transport stickers from the Medical, National Water and Sewage Corporation, Power Generation, Transmission and Distribution Companies, banks, Judiciary, Uganda National Road Authority, Uganda Revenue Authority, National Drug Authority, National Bureau of Standards, DPP, NMS, Uganda Red Cross and the International Committee of the Red Cross, Civil Aviation Authority, National Bureau of Standards, telecom companies, the media, KCCA, urban authorities, cleaning services, manufacturers, pharmacies, veterinary officials. These are all authorized to strictly carry essential staff only during this period.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This morning, 20th of April, 2020, Uganda Prison Service, as part of its patriotic duty, has joined UPDF, UPF, the LDUs, Red Cross, and the local authorities in food distribution. We have deployed in all the 5 divisions of Kampala. What I have to inform the public is that we are doing an integrated operation. For some of you who are already beginning to call that, are you people of prison, since you have joined to bring food this side, we don't work like that. We are conducting one operation and we expect cooperation with everybody in the food distribution. I have an appeal, especially to the politicians. Other than criticize, kindly join us and we serve our people. We all want to live and we all want to survive the coronavirus. So let's work together as a team. It will ease our work. And I am very optimistic. I don't think we should be so pessimistic that we won't manage. Whatever the circumstances, the government is ready to perform its duties with the help of all of us as citizens and those who are within. Let's cooperate, let's follow the guidelines, let's obey the rules as we stay home and stay safe. Of course, I want to re-echo His Excellency's message that if you know you have a motocycle, you have a bike, please, 5 p.m. is your deadline. Can we adhere to that? And you will have no problem with security whatsoever as long as you adhere to the rules. And of course, if you don't want to adhere, please be prepared to endure the consequences. Because as security, we are determined more than ever, especially now that we are seeing a silver lining at the end of this struggle. And finally, I am here to urge those ones who are sitting home and staying safe to use this weather to be self-sustaining. Those beans you are throwing away that can't be cooked, please gather them, put them in tins or put them on a gunny bag, cover them with soil. You will have greens in 3 weeks' time. Those who can, get the local onions, cut the heads, eat the heads, and plant those lower parts that have the roots. In 2 to 3 weeks, you will have the leaves as onions. We are trying to do all this to keep safe and minimize on our expenditure. Thank you very much.
For clearance of truck drivers. I would like to inform you that we are having an increase in truck drivers reporting that they have lost their travel documents while approaching the border. Such drivers, we turn them off. Even drivers who are leaving and they have reported they have a police abstract that they have lost their travel documents will not be cleared out. So I would like to warn transporters that they should ensure that their drivers have proper documents, including their crew. We have had one case of forgery, and we're dealing with it. We have handed the driver and his crew to the police for further investigations. So we are not going to entertain any documents that are not proper. On Saturday, 17th April, at Entebbe International Airport, we managed to clear 2 flights which were repatriating foreign nationals. One of the flights had 221 people and was heading for Oslo and Stockholm. The other, and that was Ethiopian Airline. The other was Rwanda Air, which repatriated 45 people with 2 infarcts, total 47, and they were going to different destinations, including UK, Philippines, and Japan. Ladies and gentlemen, we are continuing to implement our mandate, but we need the support of citizens. As I said, along the border, the strongest army is that of citizens. While we are working with other security agencies, we call upon the public to continue interacting with us, continue reporting incidents, and to continue reporting even to the leaders so that we can work together and defeat the enemy.
Today, 20th of April, 2020 is day 6. We shall be entering day 6 of the 21-day curfew and partial lockdown, and we continue to witness the benefits arising out of the measures that were brought out by His Excellency the President as well as the Minister of Health in the fight against the COVID-19 virus. So far, out of the 12,565 tests, the total infections were 55, out of which 28 recovered, giving a balance of 27 active cases. Now, this shows a flattening of the curve with 0 deaths and several recoveries. However, we as the Joint Task Force, we would like to remind all Ugandans and visitors in the country that the flattened peak does not mean the crisis is over. We still have threats of cargo truck drivers that were witnessed in the course of the week, as well as new infections in the region. For instance, in Rwanda, they recorded 3 new positive cases out of 722 samples. 8 cases were registered in Kenya as new cases out of 1,330 samples. Tanzania, as we stand, has about 170 infections. So you can imagine, we do want to continue encouraging all Ugandans to make the remaining 15 days of the curfew and partial lockdown as our highest priority, a turning point for us to maintain social distancing and see to it that we chase this coronavirus out of our country. As security agencies, we welcome the directive by His Excellency the President to give amnesty to the border riders. That means that all those whose motorcycles were impounded, bicycles that were impounded, and all borders that were impounded, including tuk-tuks, are supposed to be handed with immediacy. Therefore, we call upon all owners, riders, to report to wherever these motorcycles and borders were impounded, and then you sign for them. As they pick the borders or motorcycles, we would like them to emulate the majority of the other riders that have been complying with the guidelines. We know very well that this partial lockdown must have affected each and everyone in one way or another, but it doesn't mean that we should force situations. There is no one who is more superior than another in this situation that we are in. Therefore, we are going to give release orders. The instructions were given for all stations to record, document all those motorcycles and border borders, tuk-tuks in our custody, such that in case of any repeated violations, we do have these records with us, and we shall be able to expose those ones who still continue to repeatedly violate the guidelines that were given. So, from 6:30 a.m. up to 5 p.m., we expect all those who fall in this category to plan their schedules very correctly, so that you don't find yourself again being arrested and the motorcycle impounded in one way or another. So we are starting afresh with enforcement of the 5 p.m. curfew, of the 5 p.m. restriction on these border borders and motorcycles and bicycles. Therefore, the exercise of impounding and re-impounding even these ones that we are releasing begins today at 5 p.m. Now, during the period under review, that is last week, about a total of 43 incidents of violation of the presidential directives on the prevention of the spread of the coronavirus were registered throughout the country, and about 267 suspects were arrested. Amongst the arrested persons, I remember we indicated about 70 Pokot warriors who were arrested in Amaru, that is Mount Moroto region, who were following their cows, but they were not observing social distancing and had a potential of infecting each other. About 5 of them had high temperature, and that is something that is being followed. And we also have about 6 to 7 motorcycles and 15 motor vehicles that were impounded during that week.